Seipati Mokhuoa, SAWIL CEO. What a pleasure and an honor to have you as one of the finalists for the inaugural Trailblazers Awards 2020. Congratulations to you. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. I mean, I think it's the only time I'm ever going to be on the same page as Miss South Africa. So yeah, that was, I was like, yeah, Miss Universe, sorry, Miss Universe. That's a show, yeah. No, it was what an honor. Thank you so much. I'm very humbled.
No, congratulations. So this is Dr. Andy Brough from the Brough Leadership Institute. He is my co-pilot. He'll be doing the interview. But before I hand over to him, I just wanted you to tell us and the audience and the people who are voting for you who Lianne is and what she's about, what earned her a seat at this particular table.
Sure. I mean, I'm very passionate about leadership, so especially women empowerment. I think I've done a lot of work around trying to upskill, trying to mentor, trying to be part of the solution. So I hope that's what comes across. But I think more so, it's not supposed to be for accolades. More, it's just supposed to do your bit. And I would urge anyone, who is looking up to any of the participants or the award winners is to, set your own trail. And I love that it's a trailblazer because it's someone that maybe isn't on the normal path. There's not this trajectory that says you can do this. You can be anything as long as you apply your mind to it.
Yeah. Absolutely great. Thank you for that insight. Dr. Andy, over to you.
Lianne, there's so much that I want to ask you about in terms of leadership, your role as the network director at YPO, your involvement as a Lego facilitator, but we don't have much time for that. I want to focus in on one particular part of your bio, which is this whole focus on care direct and this whole matching of care seekers and caregivers. That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, it's actually evolved quite a bit. So what we found was it was set into 4 pillars. We wanted to match care seekers and people looking for employment, right? So what we found was a lot of care seekers, they have the right qualifications, they have a lot of experience, but there is often this cultural dynamic that maybe doesn't fit. So whether it could be a language barrier or a cultural barrier or location. And so what we really set out to do was kind of turn that recruitment part on its head. So instead of saying, pay us a recruitment fee, we said, try and find the right person so that you could get placed at a discounted rate. So, everything kind of had to stop with COVID because, it was quite a tricky time. We didn't want to encourage, we didn't want to be held accountable or responsible. So we had to first just see how we put the right measures in place for that. But yeah, and then also around the training is how do we upskill and trying to help people through training.
Tell us about Future Females. This sounds fascinating, this network of women across cities around the world and the events that you've hosted there.
Yeah, so Future Females, I mean, that was quite a while ago. That was with the team, Lauren, Dallas, and Serena. So I was I assisted with some of their setup, but I mean, they own that. It's grown exponentially. What they've done is great. They have expanded into different territories. They have created a business school, and I just love their ethos of how they're upskilling women. And it was great to be part of that team when we ran it. So we did executions. I helped with Cape Town. We came up with content, came up with programs. Tried to, instead of doing once off, try to do series. I think you can only really see change when you're doing it consistently and trying to help people create habits. So it was a great launch pad. And then from there even started mentoring programs. So yeah, it was a great experience to be a part of.
Let's come forward now, Lianne, to your involvement in YPO. Not only were you nominated as the winner of Inspiring 50 and as one of the most creative people in business, but you are the business networker for this global nonprofit. Just tell our viewers about that community and what you actually do there.
Yeah, so YPO is a network of CEOs. My role is in the networks department, and my my job is to try and ensure that members are connecting with each other and really trying to create impact within the world. My portfolio is leadership in plastics. I get to work with CEOs from around the world who really have the resources, the acumen, and the articulation, and the guidance and leadership to really help make the world a better place. It's one of those jobs where you wake up in the morning and it's different every day, and yeah, you just you are inspired all the time, because whether it be assisting on running an accelerator program, whether it be helping around having hard conversations around transitions. So yeah, I feel very fortunate to be part of that team.
And on top of all of that, you're on the boards of Girls Do Good and SAWIL Donations. Tell me about these superheroes. What would you say to young girls who are looking to succeed in this new world? How do you create superheroes for them?
So, I would say two things. One is don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. And I would just say, just start. Like, you're never going to get it right. You just need to take that first leap. It's not the last step that is the hardest. It's always the first step. So it's just start.
You're also involved as a mindfulness practitioner and as a doula, which is a role that some people might not know about. Lianne, won't you share that very, very special role that you play as a doula?
Sure. So it's end of life transitions. It's called a death doula. And my wish for being a death doula is to really help anyone that is looking at living a really good life, is also being able to plan for your end of life. And that's not necessarily just financially, it's also just emotionally. I think a life well lived, if a life well lived is to be able to talk about those hard conversations. And it actually came from a tribulation that I had was my grand passed, and I didn't, I would see her and we would have conversations about her life, but I actually didn't really know how she even wanted to pass. And I think she had those conversations with my aunt, but never me. And I just thought, it's such a gift to be able to have these experiences with people, and I hope that people will be able to have those hard conversations that maybe don't need to be hard. So it's something that's very close to my heart, and I hope if anyone listening knows how someone would like to pass, or just to make sure that you don't have things that are unsaid.
So looking back now, what would you say to a younger Lianne du Toit if she was starting out again? What advice would you give to her, knowing what you know now?
Sure. Just laugh it through. Like, it's really not that serious. It's, as someone reminded me yesterday, it's not brain surgery. You can have fun while things are hard.
Lianne du Toit, on behalf of the SAWIL Trailblazers, we want to congratulate you on getting this far and wish you every success with the finals. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.